There's so much value in Ultimate Team right now. It's great. All right, guys, it is time to take on Week 9 Team of the Week reviews. We're live right now on Twitch. We don't tweet this one out, though, so you've got to just know to stop by and follow the channel. What we do is we go over these cards every week. Craig Robertson is the first guy up. He's a right outside linebacker. I actually clicked in to see if this item was any good in like an area that wasn't showing up on his item, but he's got 89 tackle. He's an outside linebacker. He really doesn't have much value that I can see for the most part, so I will pass heavily on this Robertson. Didn't even need to click in, but just wanted to be sure. Kenyon Drake gets an item. I love this guy right here. 91 speed, 91 agility, 88 elusive with 90 juke move. That means you're going to get the precision juke at the highest level. 88 excel. I'd rather see that than excel and agility flipped, but at 6'1", 91 speed with 88 elusive, for a budget back, a value back, that's good speed. He's going to be super inexpensive, and I think you found yourself a great item right here. Addison grabs one from the left end position. He's got 90 finesse move, but what you're going to see, and it's a theme throughout this Team of the Week, there's not a ton of strength or block shed in these guys. So 85 excel is not something we value in this year's game all that much. 90 finesse move's good. 79 power is good. If it was 90-80, you know, he'd be something, but there's better values out there. You got to get yourself Steven Tuitt today. Get yourself in a Tuitt, the new hero, today. There's a couple really good heroes in the Man of the Month, so don't miss out on those ends. Mike Wallace, former Steeler, one of the great Madden items 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. How long has it been for Mike Wallace? But 91 speed, 82 route running, 85 catch in traffic, 89 spec. Mike Wallace, without him being a true burner at this point in his career, he's just not a guy you can really go to. I would recommend getting the Conley. You're going to get a little more route running out of it. If you want more catch in traffic, you can get the Crowder. But Mike Wallace, not really the guy at this point. Brandon Flowers, now he reminds me a lot of the Brandon Carr that just came out. So 87 speed, I think they both had 87 or 88. That's as low as I would go at CB at this point. 89 zone with 90 press. Now zone and press, I don't find that those ratings match up all that well. This is maybe a slot corner if you play a lot of zone and you don't have the best team yet. 82 man is fine, but you're going to heavily rely on this guy's zone coverage if you play him. I'd say take a look at the Flowers in the car and see who costs you less, and then maybe go and grab one of them. But I wouldn't go any lower than that speed. Latavius Murray, the Raider, had a big game, 90 speed, 91 excel. And like we say, with truck, you usually see the agility lower than the speed. That happens here. So he's kind of, 90 speed is really good for a truck back who's 6'3". I bet he has pretty good strength. Let me click in and see what that strength is, because the strength is kind of the hidden rating for a guy like a Murray. Only like 77, you'd like to see it slightly over 80 like the Murray has. Is this a 30K halfback? You have to compare him to the Johnson, to the Gurley. They're always going to kind of end up being that much. He can't route run. He does have 90 spin. I want to see him with 90 truck. I think he has 89, and that's just one below precision. So maybe I would pass on that. Murray, but he's a really good option for a lot of people out there if you like to run straight ahead and you can't afford the Derrick Henry. Jason Witten, 78 speed, not great strength and run block. You know, aside from catching traffic, he's a hard pass. Unfortunately, he's a legend, been doing it for a long time, but in Madden, you can't have him. Whitehead, the left outside linebacker. Now this is a good comparison. He's got 75 strength but 89 block shed, whereas Thomas Davis has 78 strength and 79 block shed. So look how much better the block shed is on Whitehead versus Thomas Davis. Now Thomas Davis is going to have much better zone coverage, whereas Whitehead is going to be okay but not really have that next tier. Now he's got good tackle, good pursuit, which you like to see. But that low strength, me throwing him out on the edge and him not having true pass rush skills, I'm gonna go away from this item. I just don't see what it can really do for you, aside from having the 87 excel. But there's no moves to really back it up, so I would pass on this Whitehead. Melvin Gordon is the offensive hero. he has 91 speed, which is fast for Melvin Gordon, with 92 elusive and 82 truck. So let's dive into Gordon right here. He's got 76 strength, 64 route running, so he is definitely not going to be catching too many balls out of the backfield. He's more of an elusive style back with a little truck, but not the strength to match. 89 carry. I'd like to see it at 90 if I'm going to go premium price. This is a premium price back who's got good speed mixed with agility. But overall, I'd rather have a back who's got this 90 speed but with 94 agility, like the McCoy if I'm going to pay that price. Possibly the Dorsett, who's a little bit more. I would pass on this Gordon for now unless I heard really good things. I'm trying to get hands on Murray. I'm trying to get hands on the new Le'Veon Bell. Obviously, his price is going to be much more inflated, but with only 89 speed, but more agility and more elusive. So we'll have to see how it shakes out. But I would pass on the Melvin Gordon for now. There's a lot of good backs out there, and he doesn't really do anything different than those guys. Cameron Wake. So Cameron Wake is an interesting story, and I'll tell you guys why. Cameron Wake is an older player because he played in the CFL, so older players in Madden tend not to be as fast as younger players. It's true of the NFL. The rookies that come in, generally the fastest guys in the league, the older they get, they never get faster as they get older in 99.9% of cases. Cameron Wake with 86 acceleration is actually pretty high for a Cameron Wake, and that speed's actually pretty decent for Cameron Wake. I feel like he's been slower in years past. He has 81 strength and 80 block shed. That's just not going to get it done. You get great pass moves? Yes, you get 93 power move, 83 finesse move. But I'm going to take the Olivier Vernon most feared over this. I'm going to take the Tuitt, the new 87 hero over this item, because he's going to be much better in the run game. I would take Javon Curse over this item if you're ending up at similar costs, because you know you're going to get good pass rushing. I mean, 93 and 83 moves is great, and it's decent excel, but it's not something I value. Overall, that's just too low on strength and block shed. And then lastly, Thomas Davis grabs an item. Now, he was my favorite guy in last month's Man of the Month. He was an 86. And now he's way up there to a 92. So he goes from an 86 to a 92, and his speed jumps up 3 points. I've got to commend the team at EA for giving Thomas Davis this boost and not just putting him up like 1 speed overall, because it's his next item. It was a big jump, and it ultimately got rewarded a good amount. Now, his strength only went up 2, and his block shed went up 6. They gave him 6 block sheds, so they really did pump in some good ratings updates to this Thomas Davis. And that just shows you kind of how low he was. But now he has 90 zone coverage, which I think, unless you go to Sean Lee, that Thomas Davis is now the highest zone cover right outside linebacker in the game. Now, I use Melvin Gordon out there, but Davis, he's aged a bit, doesn't have that excel quite anymore. They made him a little weaker. He can't really stop the run, but if you need a true guy and you play 3-3-5 wide and you play the cover 4 and one of your guys rushes and the other guy drops into zone coverage into a purple zone, this has to be Thomas Davis. You're going to be a little weak off the edge. You should grab a cheap budget item. The problem is, for just a zone cover corner or just a zone linebacker, you can't pay $300K. You can't pay $100K. Like, it's too much. It's too much for a guy that just does one thing. If he could rush the passer slightly better, he's good. He's good at it. He's good enough, but his main skill is the zone coverage. Whereas like Melvin Gordon's a better all-around player who can't drop into zone as well, but he can do more better than Thomas Davis. If Davis was a beast off the edge in the run game and then could drop into zone, that'd be great. If he couldn't set the edge, but he could pass rush and drop into zone, that would be great. But he can only do 1 out of 3 things, even with great upgrades. It hurts. I love seeing 90 zone. I think I'd rather go Sean Lee. You get 83 man, but he's not going to be able to have the speed to match up. And so I pass. I pass on the Davis. I pass. And that's a tough week. I would definitely check out the Drake for a budget squad. And there's just a lot of value out right there now in items, guys. There's some really good Man of the Month items. There's some really specific items that do great things for your lineup, and that's what we try and help you do here on our stream on twitch.tv/Madden Tips. Remember, we do it every Monday. We try and give you the upper hand on the items that just came out. We don't tweet it out, so make sure to go over there, follow the channel, follow this channel. And until next time, leave your questions in the comments, and don't forget to lock up. Instead of Jason Witten, like the chat said, buy Fedorowicz if you want a true run blocker. Go find somebody else. Don't pay for the name, pay for the game. Lock up.